Hi, I'm Allison.
And I'm Jafeth.
And this is the 7th episode of Existing, and we're back!
Woohoo! It's been, like a month and a week, I believe.
Oh, you've been keeping track.
Yeah, I think it was what was the month before this? April?
What?
January, February, March, April. Oh, May, June, July. July. It was July 22nd since our last.
Wait. Javeth also didn't know when fall was, but I didn't know his knowledge of the year was that bad.
Yeah, time is weird. I don't know. April is the 4th month?
Yeah.
April. Is that when Easter is? Oh, isn't it March?
March. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been about a month or so since our last upload, and that was because as per our last episode, we mentioned that we were out of our free trial for SoundCloud, so we ran out of time.
Yeah, so you guys are probably like, how are you here? Well, I'm so glad you asked.
If you must know.
Well, the school we go to, University of the Pacific, has kindly, gave us the funds to continue our podcast. So we will be uploading.
Yeah, and hopefully longer episodes too. Now we don't have a time limit.
Unlimited uploading time.
Yeah. Woo, how exciting.
Very exciting. Oh, other exciting news. We also put our podcast up on iTunes.
Oh, yes.
So Apple users, you can go to your little podcast app and you can find us. Actually, to be honest, because not that many people listen to us on there, I don't think you can find us if you just look up our podcast.
Wait, actually, I did look us up, just existing ? And we were the second or third to come up.
Oh, that's
and I
cool.
think it's just because nobody has our podcast name. But I found us easily through our phone just by looking. So if you can,
okay, so go
do that, and also give us 5 stars, methinks.
Yes.
Because that helps.
That'll help us out.
Yeah,
that'll move us up in the search results. So that'll help. If you don't want to give us 5 stars, 4 stars might be okay, but I think you'll just be better off saving your time and not giving us a rating.
Yeah, if it's not 4 or 5 stars, then don't bother. It's fine. Save your time, And
if you really have a problem and you want to give us 1 star, you should probably DM us, because we're probably doing something really bad to piss you off that much.
Yeah.
Speaking of DMing us, you can DM us on our Instagram account.
Yeah, and our Instagram is @existingpodcast.
I think that's the best intro, that segue.
Yeah, wow.
That was the smoothest. Wow. I think it's also funny that at the end of episode 6, we talked about updating on the Instagram page, even though we won't be able to upload episodes. We didn't.
Oopsies, my bad.
Oop.
It's just kind of hard. Also, school was starting, so I was getting ready with that, and then I recently started an internship, so I was just even though it didn't take up too much time, it was after I don't know how many months of doing nothing, suddenly doing something, I was exhausted.
I've become a parent of 30.
Oh my gosh.
My plant babies, my eldest, my bonsai tree, Cha-Cha, she's doing well. She had a lot of health problems, but I think she's just being dramatic. And now I have a lot of veggie babies. I planted seeds in the soil myself in recycled to go plastic containers.
For eco-friendly
and now they're all sprouting. Because they were actually this is fancy to go containers. It's thick microwavable plastic. So I was let me poke some holes at the bottom.
Wow.
And use this as a vase or a pot.
So you're really treating those plants. She sends updates of her plants to our friends group chat, and then I just look at them and I'm jealous.
Yeah, he doesn't respond.
I don't respond because I'm jealous, because I want that.
Because I have a very bad track record of taking care of plants. I've killed multiple succulents because I overwatered them.
Yeah.
But then bonsais and new vegetable seedlings are really sensitive, so it's okay that I pay that much attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I also have killed succulents once because I watered it, I think once every week, which I guess is a lot for a succulent.
Oh, I used to water mine every day.
Okay, yeah, that's you're supposed to water regular plants once a day, I think, right?
Even my bonsai, because the soil isn't special clay soil that Japanese bonsai growers use, watering it once a day is too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I learned that the hard way, because I was why are the leaves yellow? And I was she's infected. She was infected, but she was also overwatered.
Yeah. No, yeah, so my first succulent, I overwatered it. Second time I watered it not enough, because actually this definitely is my fault. I was like, okay, I'll water it once a month because maybe that's enough, you know.
Is that too much?
And then I forgot about it.
Oh,
So I just it like 3 months passed, and I was like, my succulent is dry now and it's dead. I'm not a plant mom at all.
Maybe get a more sensitive plant. That was my problem. Succulents didn't need me.
I mean, I want to get one of those hanging plants, the ones that like have are viney
I love
and stuff.
those. I was thinking about that too.
Yeah.
If you can see like my bedroom, like this side, it's all blank, right? But I have like posters and whatever on the other side. So I wanted to get plants, but this room doesn't get that much light. So
yeah.
alas.
I don't know. Also, my room just gets really hot. Like, it gets a lot of sunlight, but it gets really hot. And, like, that's probably not good for plants. But other than our plant shenanigans.
Also, if our audio sounds a lot cleaner, crisper, if you will, it's because we have actual mics now and it's on a stand and I was gonna say thick. They are thick, but they're like very sturdy and it's like a real mic. This is also thanks to our school. Yeah, because we used to use our phones before.
So if there is no difference in the audio, that's gonna be kind of embarrassing. But just pretend for us, please, because it makes us, even if it doesn't make the audio better, it makes us feel more professional.
I feel like a podcaster. I put that on my LinkedIn.
Dude, yeah. I got a notification that said, congratulate Allison on her new position as podcaster at Existing. And I sent her a screenshot and I was like, you're funny.
I mean, okay, because like I want to go into entertainment law, like specifically like the music industry side of stuff. So I was like, okay, I think I should have like a media related thing on my LinkedIn, on my resume. And because now we're receiving like official funding from our school, I was like, hey, I can put this on my resume. And so I did.
Speaking of LinkedIn, I was telling Allison, I need to do that because I have not actually edited anything since like freshman year of college. It's been like 3 or 4 years.
God. Wait, but didn't you take that career class?
Yeah, but we didn't. She like skipped the LinkedIn section because she was like, oh, we don't have time for it or something.
Really?
So she just gave us the papers for it, like the career resource papers. And she was like, oh, if you want, just go through it and do it. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do this. And then I never did it, and I don't know where those papers are.
We had like a whole like specialist come look at all our profiles, and he looked at mine and was like, your picture looks too much like a selfie. And I was like, that's because it is.
That's so funny.
Like I don't know, like I wasn't gonna ask someone to take a picture of like, I mean, I should do that because now that picture is like old and I have like kind of blonde hair there, so
they're gonna see you and be like, oh, you're not ash blonde, we can't hire you.
My natural blonde roots, I just had to cover them.
No, but that's funny.
You know what I also think is funny? That whenever I open LinkedIn and I like look through the main, I guess, timeline or whatever, I see people actually like posting things.
Oh, wait,
and then I was like, am I supposed to be using this like a Facebook account? But then my sister was like, only nerds do that.
Wait, okay. She might have a point.
But they're the ones probably getting jobs.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I don't know who I was talking to or who was telling me, but they were like, oh, you need to have like or it looks good if you have like constant engagement on LinkedIn.
I know that.
Or if you like articles or comment occasionally. But at the same time, I'm like, nobody I have on LinkedIn are like people that I would like to congratulate. Like, they're all people from high school, and it's like, I don't talk to you anymore, so wouldn't it be awkward if I actually did congratulate you on your job position?
And if I did congratulate them, I already probably know them in person. Like, I'm gonna just text them. I'm not gonna put it on LinkedIn. Like, I feel like putting it on LinkedIn is like just trying to show off somehow like their accomplishment is also yours for some reason because you know them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I just like shitting on the business world. I think a little bit, yeah.
But at the same time, business world, if you're listening, after this pandemic, I need a job. So.
Yeah, I need a job too. But, the culture around it.
Yeah, I feel that.
Well, we started school this week, and today's Friday, so we finished that week.
Yeah, we finished. Yeah, today marks the first complete week of school. Mm-hmm. The first week of school.
Of Zoom school.
Yeah, so thank goodness for that. Not in a bad way, just like
Jafeth and I are actually in 2 classes together.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to say because we can see each other on the Zoom like call, but no one else is like specifically watching our screens, I think. But we're also texting each other while the lecture is going on. So whenever like we say something funny, I can see like Jafeth and like both of us like trying to cover our mouths and like trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
Like
It's so funny because like I don't know. One time I send Allison like dumb stuff. Like I just say dumb stuff to
Yeah, and
her.
he can see my reaction in like real time.
Yeah, and it's funny because I
That's
like
funny.
sometimes I make it a goal to see if she like can't. She like laughs and can't cover it, and like she gets
Sometimes I'm
caught.
like, like, I'm like, "Mm."
Yeah, or sometimes I also just take screenshots of her
Yeah, he
and
takes
send them
screenshots
to
and sends it to me. I'm like, for why? Like one time I was eating
her.
bread
Also, yeah, she was literally eating like she was eating a slice of bread, like nothing on it as far as I know.
because I
It was
think
just a
there's
slice
like
of
a
bread.
beauty to like plain bread. Also,
Anyway,
that piece of bread wasn't that good. It was sourdough. I don't really like sourdough plain.
was it sour? Is sourdough actually sour? I've
It
never
was a
had like.
little, it was a little tangy. I don't like it. I'd prefer to eat like a sweeter bread plain.
Mm.
But anyways, I hate icebreakers on Zoom. I
Oh
think
my
it's like
god.
the devil personally crafted that because like icebreakers are already bad in person, and
Mm-hmm.
even though we have a small class size, like about like maybe what like 30 something people,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
hell. It's hellish.
Like I don't know. I like icebreakers, but when you're the one that's like, because I worked as a student ambassador and like an RA
Oh
before,
yeah, wait, you're
so
the
like
conductor of
yeah,
icebreakers.
so being the conductor of icebreakers is so funny because it's like you get to see the awkwardness happen and then you get
God.
to feel less awkward. Or like when I was an orientation leader, like it was funny because I knew all the other orientation leaders, so I didn't have to feel as awkward doing icebreakers. So like sometimes I would just say stupid stuff and I'd be like, "Oh, now I see why icebreakers are so fun." But they're not fun if you're like the stranger doing it, you know?
Yeah,
Or if
they're
like
not.
yeah. Yeah, but it's so
And it's
funny.
I feel like sharing to the class, like the whole class, it's like not that bad. But I think the most awkward aspect of this is when they do breakout rooms of more than two people, and then they're just like, go talk about something you like, and you just
Wait, yeah.
and everyone enters the breakout room with their mics off. Some people might have their cameras off, and you're just staring at each other like, okay, who's gonna turn on their mic first and say something? And maybe like a whole minute will pass, and that's like the longest minute in the world. Like,
Literally, like it's so funny because I don't know what class it was, but we were in a breakout room and there was like 5 people, including myself,
mhm,
and we were just supposed to talk about like a document that our professor gave us,
mhm.
and we were just there, and I like zoned out for a little, so like I didn't actually get what the assignment was. Like I didn't know if we were supposed to read it and then talk about it, or if we were just supposed to talk about it. Like I'm not
Mhm.
really sure what it was. And so then I like nobody talked for like the first 5 seconds, and I just unmuted myself and I was like, so what are we supposed to do? And then like everyone stayed silent for a couple seconds, and then this one guy was like, "Oh, we're just supposed to read it and then talk about it." And I was like, "Oh."
Oh, okay.
And then I wanted to ask, like, talk about what? Like, are we just like like being like, "Oh yes,
Here's
this
my
is the document,
reaction.
and here is yeah," like, or what exactly are we looking for? But I just
Yeah.
sat there and like looked at it, and I just let everyone else talk. And then he called on me when in like the entire class discussion, and I was like, he was
That's
like,
so
"What did
funny.
your group say?" And I was like,
Well,
great
nothing.
question." Yeah.
Oh, that's so
But
funny.
yeah, those are very awkward.
Like, I get the professors are trying to
Mm,
recreate what would usually happen in class, like where we naturally talk to each other, but it feels very forced. But I don't think
yeah.
there's anything they can do about that.
Yeah.
It's not the
Yeah.
professor's fault at all. It's just like the whole nature of the situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Um.
Oh, you know what
Oh.
is funny though? How like
What?
everyone has their cameras on, and sometimes you just see people doing random.
Oh yeah.
Some people sit really funny, like they're
Yeah.
clearly on their beds,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
some people they'll just walk away and they won't turn their camera off. They just
Yeah.
walk away.
But I don't want to talk
What?
about school anymore.
Okay, yeah, let's not talk
I
about
have
school. What do
some
you want
really
to talk
good
about?
news.
Oh, you do?
I got an air fryer.
Wait, did you get the one that could hold the chicken?
I don't really know. I don't think so. It's like because they measure it in quarts.
That sounded so unnatural. Okay, you guys, so like we had to take a break because there was like noise, but
Yeah, there
that's
was a
so
little
funny.
interruption. But
That's
basically,
gonna sound so awkward. I feel like, did you get the one in
yeah.
court or chicken? Yeah, I got the one in court. It's
Okay.
measured in
Anyway, air fryers, if you don't know, they're measured like in quarts or whatever. And like I had never really heard of that measurement. And so then I was like trying to scroll through like, dude, also there's so many different freaking brands of air fryers. Like,
Capitalism, baby.
yeah, I'm like, are these the options we need? No, they are not. Just
Just
give me
make
one
yeah,
good air
just one
fryer
really
and
good
that's
one.
it. But anyway, like yeah, so I bought one. a big. I don't know if I think it can fit a chicken maybe. If like I really wanted it to fit,
Squeezed it
I
in.
think I could like stuff it in
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
What do you plan on making?
First of all, I really wanted it because I can't turn my oven on because it'll like it's really hot today. That's really hot today. It's really hot lately. It's been really hot lately, and like turning the oven on is just like a death sentence. It's like turning my place into a sauna. So I really wanted it because I've been really craving sweet potatoes, like the baked sweet potato. But like I can't really make that because the oven's really hot. And so I was like, that's why I asked you. I texted Allison like a week ago or something, like, can you bake in an air fryer? And she was like, Jafeth, it's called an air fryer. I'm like,
I think I'm funny, but
anyway.
I was like,
but she was like, JK, I don't know.
because I know Jafeth. I knew Jafeth would give me that kind of smart ass answer, so I was like, let me try something real quick.
I would never.
That's the only type of answers.
I would never do that to a friend in need.
You know, the first few times Jafeth like met and like came over to like my apartment to hang out with like me and our other friend, he like would straight up just lie to me. Like they're like,
wait, when did I lie?
Because I think your jaw was clicking and you're like, Mexicans crunch their teeth, and then my roommate who's also Mexican, you looked at each other and we're just like, yeah, we do that. And I was like, huh, how do you even do that?
Wait, that was really funny. I was popping my gum. Like I could pop my gum weirdly like in my mouth so I don't have to like blow a bubble. And Allison was like, oh my,
I was like, what's that sound?
And I was like, oh, it's my teeth. Like they crunch or they pop.
Because I've never heard people pop gum like that.
And then I was like, what, you haven't done, like you've never heard Jackie do it or something? Like,
and Jackie's like, oh, I don't chew gum. Okay, Jackie's my roommate and our mutual friend.
Yeah.
Our bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's a bro. She's a bruh girl.
Okay, anyway.
And back to the topic. Basically, I was like, oh, yeah, Mexicans crunch their teeth. And then I just looked at her, yeah. And then she like caught on and she was like, yeah. And so
I think that was the time.
Did we tell you right after?
Yeah, like in that same like that you know span of 20 minutes. But like I think that was the start of Jackie bullying me. I swear to God, she didn't start doing that until you came in the picture.
My impact.
Jackie doesn't actually bully me. Like it's not like, it's just, you know,
it's like a friendly bully.
I'm the butt of the joke. I think it's funny. We tried to record multiple episodes. I think this is our like third or fourth episode we've tried recording.
Yeah.
We have other ones scheduled for the future that we pre-recorded, but we were supposed to record an episode with Jackie that we mentioned before, and it messed up twice. Because the first one, we were just like, okay, well, number one, Jafet's audio kept messing up because he had the old mic he used to have was like not good. It wasn't reliable. But then we also realized we didn't like the topic. It was too serious. So then we tried reviewing a movie, and I won't name that movie just in case we actually use this idea later. But basically, we reviewed that movie with Jackie, but then the audio problems happened. So those episodes are in the vault.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe in the future we'll decide to release them.
If you guys want to hear those on Patreon,
just pay us a couple $100.
It'll be like $1 subscription. Anyways, that's in the works. No, it's not. Possibly. Unless y'all want that. I mean.
You know, to our million of subscribers and listeners out there.
Yeah. Hey, okay, we're just happy that like people actually listen to our show, because occasionally I'll check in on like how many people listen and like start our podcast on Spotify, and every time we're like, more than one person. No, I'm kidding. It's like,
like no, but like honestly, like I'm like, what, more than me, Allison, and then like our advisor who like listened to it too.
Oh yeah, our advisor. Sir, if you're listening to this, thank you. Like the reason why we're able to continue this podcast is because like one time we were talking with him over Zoom, like the three of us, and Jafeth, like he was like, oh, what have you guys been up to during quarantine? And Jafeth brought up the podcast, and at first I was like, no, why would you do that? Why would you
I hesitated because I was like, I know Allison would hate me if I brought it up, but it kind of just came out. And
I could see it on his face. He was like smiling. He's like, oh, we started a podcast. And he's like, oh, let me listen. I was like, we already just exposed ourselves as like K-poppies to this man. And now we got to tell him our podcast name and like show him an episode. But it went well because, hey, we're here. So maybe I'll trust Jafeth a bit more.
Yeah, I think that is the lesson learned.
Today, Jafeth woke up late for class.
Oh my God.
And I texted him because I was looking for him, because I was like, okay, first of all, there weren't that many people in class today. I was like, okay. And then I was like, wait, Jafeth isn't here, like the only person I know in this class. And then I texted him. I was like, hey, are you not coming to class? And then time passed and I was like, okay, I think he's sleeping. And then he woke up and he was like, oh my God. And he got on the
No,
call
honestly, okay.
right when he woke up, like didn't like wash up or anything.
Yeah, no, dude, I panicked. I like because I had alarms starting at like 8:45, and then another one at like 9, and then 9:15, and I was like, I'll definitely wake
Our
up.
class is at 9:30, by the way.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll definitely wake up, and like that's enough time to like wash my face and brush my teeth. And so 15 minutes, and so then I was like, cool. Then I like fell asleep, and then it was like 9:15, and I remember thinking like, oh, just like literally just 5 more minutes. Yeah, no. The next time I woke up, it was like 9:37, I think. No, it was like
Yeah, it was
9:40,
like
and I saw a message from Allison at 9:37, and she was like, "Hey, are you not coming to class?" And then in caps, the next message was like, "Oh my god,
yeah,
are you asleep?"
like it was like, you know, like when there's like a lot of time has elapsed, so then the message bubbles are like spaced apart. So like the first one was like all lowercase, like, "Hey, are you not coming to class?" Second one, "OMG, are you sleeping?" Like.
And I wake up and I see that, and I'm just like in all caps,
He's like,
"OMG,
"OMG, yes," and I was
yes!"
like, "I
And then
knew it, I knew it."
yeah, but thankfully he let me into class. You know what I realized? Professors literally can just not let you into class if you're late.
Really?
Like they can choose to not, because you know how you wait.
Wait, I never wait though.
Until like
they just let me in. They're like, it's class is not the same without you. No kidding.
I guess that's pretty privilege.
Yeah, I mean,
and then I realized, dang, it's gonna be so easy sleeping through class.
I can't. My Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you know, we used to wake up for a 9:30 class. I wake up at 8:30, but I've been doing that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, even though I've class later.
Oh, okay. Honestly, since I've been working, my sleep schedule has like fixed itself, which I'm like, thank God, because I remember during like when I wasn't doing anything, like I would wake up at 3 p.m., go to sleep like at 6 or 7, and I'm like, how did I do that? Like even when I had melatonin, like I would just fight it, even though I took it.
Jesus, I think the worst feeling is like when you take a melatonin and then you can feel it going away, and you're just like, nah.
You're like, no, come back to me. My dad sometimes has trouble sleeping, and so then I was like, oh, have some melatonin. Like, I'll give you some melatonin. And then he was like, oh, are those drugs?
You're
like he thought it was like a
Jafeth.
bad, like technically, yeah, it's a drug, but like, but it's a naturally occurring chemical inside of your body. But he still didn't trust it. And then he took it once, and he was like, I love melatonin.
I love melatonin. Melatonin dreams are always so vivid, like crazy vivid, and I hate it.
Wait, one dream that I told Allison about, because there was one dream and I wrote it because I was like, it was the jaw one. So one day I woke up and then I told Allison like, dude, I had the weirdest dream, and it was basically because my jaw used to lock. I don't know if anyone like that happens to anyone, or like it like pops a little whenever you like open it pretty wide.
Is that TMJ?
Who is that? Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
That's literally the first thing that came to my mind. Oh, TMJ. I don't know. Lockjaw maybe is what you're referring to. I don't know.
Do you know what TMJ is?
No. Let me Google it.
Oh my god, it's like it's like jaw problems, like clicking of a jaw or something.
Oh yeah, my jaw clicks. Oh, maybe it is TMJ then.
It's pretty common. I feel like it might be
temporomandibular joint dysfunction.
I don't even have TMJ. Wait, actually, and, like I've looked that up and like read about it.
Actually, that might be it because I'm looking at the lady's diagram and like that's exactly where I feel it.
Okay, but, anyways, you have TMJ.
Yeah, so I've just been diagnosed
on a podcast.
On a podcast. No, but yeah, so I was telling her like I had a dream, and like it was pretty bad in high school. Like my jaw one time, like I opened it and like it like wouldn't close for a bit, so like I had to like hit it a little, and then like it like went back, and it was really bad in high school. It's better now, but like so that happened, and then in my dream. That was real life. In my dream, like it happened again, but like even like hitting my jaw, it wouldn't. And I just remember like punching like the crap out of my jaw, like in hopes that it would go back to normal. And I woke up and my jaw was so sore, and I was like, did I punch my jaw like for realsies? But like it was, I think it's because I tend to do this a lot. I grind my teeth at night a lot, so I think that night like was just really intense. So like I grinded them.
What?
I like did that thing to them really hard.
I'm excited for our Bluetooth speakers to come in. We just got the email that these little like, you've probably seen them like on TikTok or like Twitter or something. They look like little retro computers, like mini computers, but they're Bluetooth speakers and they're like alarm clocks, and you can play games on it, and you can like program the screen to have like cute little like, you know, this like 8-bit
like it's a pixel art display so type of thing.
And they're like pastel
Yes.
colors.
Yeah, I got mine in green.
I got
Allison got
blue, the
hers
blue and like pastel blue orange
peach one.
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Can you believe our Luna light sticks still have not shipped? Yesterday, because Jafeth keeps asking like, can I get an update on our Luna light sticks? Because I ordered it for both of us. So then I was like, okay, let me try to log in and like see. And I was like, Jafeth, I cannot find. Why can't I find a tracking number? Like, why can't I open tracking? There was no tracking number created.
Yeah. Luna, for anyone that hasn't watched, is our like one of our favorite K-pop groups.
This is like the early basis of our friendship. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, just the fact that we like Luna, we're like both poli-sci majors. And we were like, I feel like I'm not like the other poli-sci girlies. I remember we had.
Can we talk about that? Did we talk about that yet on the podcast? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Maybe we like. No, I think maybe in the first episode we were like, we feel like. Let's just mention it again. Anyways, but Jafeth and I, we're poli-sci majors. We're the same age, same grade, whatever. We felt like we weren't as enthusiastic as the other students in our class, and like they were older than us, but still, you can't help but feel like we weren't at that level they were of like enthusiasm and just like knowledge. So we felt kind of, you know, different, a little different than the rest.
We were just a little quirky. No, because like some people, and this is generalizing it, because thinking about it now, the majority of the people that we're referring to were like the Caucasian male.
They were white guys.
Political science students.
Yes,
they were the white guys in our class, and they like always joked around with the professors and like made political science jokes, and I was just like, I don't think that's funny,
like economic jokes and stuff. And I was like, this is like, they would laugh at the articles we read, and I was like, I read the same thing and I comprehended it. I just didn't think any of it was funny at all. But at the same time, our sense of humor is like really weird now. So
but it's so funny because like when I met Allison and like I talked to her about this, I was like, okay, thank God, because I switched into political science and I had never taken like a civics class before or any like government class before in high school. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm just like really dumb and don't understand like the concepts and like why they're funny, which I mean kind of can be attributed. But like at the same time, like some of them, like I was just thinking back and I was like, that just wasn't that funny though. Like they weren't
like, I'm happy for them that they are finding it funny, but I was like, me not laughing feels like I don't belong in this, you know, like I feel like I'm not at their like academic like level for some reason, even though we're in the same class.
Speaking of my first class as when I switched, because I literally switched 2 weeks into college, like my freshman year, so I switched into the only free like poli-sci class, and it was all second years.
Whoa. Wait, what class was it?
It was 21. It was Intro to Political Theory.
Oh, okay. That's the one. We didn't do that one together.
Yeah, no, we didn't. And I was so intimidated because first of all, like it was political theory. So it's not like even if I would have taken like a gov class, I'd know about it, because like you don't learn theory in gov. But like, they were talking about like, honestly, to this day, I'm not really sure about all the theories. I was about to say Rousseau. I think that's a French revolutionist.
Yeah, I believe so.
But they were talking about like political...
Our advisor taught that class. If he's listening to this, he's gonna be so disappointed. Professor, we didn't. Sorry,
I'm just kidding. No, but I remember the ideas, Professor. So that's important. That's the important part. But yeah, so we would learn like these theorists, and then I'd just be like, and they'd mention them and mention like all these other things, and I was just like, I don't know what's going on. Thankfully, like the professor, our advisor, like he didn't like pick on me too much. So like, I was like, I felt okay because I was like, oh, and it's so funny because like I don't know if he still thinks I'm shy, but like I'm not that shy.
Because I feel like in front of him, like in class, like we're relatively quiet, but like we interact with each other a lot. So like, I don't know. If he emailed
but that was fun
with the response.
Speaking of political science class,
definitely not kind of scripted, but this segue.
Speaking of political science class, and like the white people that we talked about earlier, let's talk about being in like that setting and then sitting in
and how to have a political conversation.
Basically, so like we're just gonna be talking about our experiences being in that environment and like participating or like not participating in political conversations during class.
Yeah, like we're not here to give advice because we are not that great at participating.
Yeah, but at the same time, like we'll just talk about our observations, and hopefully you can take what you want from that.
Because I feel like in a lot of ways, our classes are like a microcosm of like the greater political setting, because it was very much dominated by white people, white men. Yeah, we literally had one class where the professor like took a good like 20 to 30 minutes to talk to us, like, hey, I noticed like only the white guys at the front are talking. And he's like literally y'all all sit at the front of the class. Like he's like, I noticed that. And he's like, I know, like I'm also, the professor is also like a white guy. So he's like, maybe that's why like you feel more encouraged to talk. But literally like all the like students of color were sitting around him or around like the other kids. And it was just very funny because I was literally in the corner.
It's like they're like, you could tell a lot by who does decide to speak up, or like who voluntarily speaks up and then like interrupts the professor while he's talking, because there's a lot of that, a lot of like, to me that's kind of disrespectful, just because like interrupting is like a different thing from like raising your hand and stuff. But at the same time, it's like I don't know or understand the level of comfort. Like as I said, like when I was in my first class, like it was weird because they were so friendly with each other, like the students with the professor, and I was like, that's weird, because I had never, not that I wasn't friends with like teachers, but like I wasn't that
never
friendly.
that casual.
Yeah, never that casual. So to me, it was just really weird. So that's why I was always like, this is kind of weird, because it's like you're friends with your professor, which is like kind of awkward. But it's so funny because now with like our advisor, we're super like
like I we're like pretty close with them, which is like really cool. But like I still get thrown off when like professors sign emails with like their first name, like only their first name, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep calling you professor, insert your last name, because I just don't feel like, you know, comfortable with that.
No, it's so funny because it's like I realized I never refer to a professor by their name in person.
I just say professor.
Or I just don't say anything at all. Like I just make eye contact with them, and then like we know to talk to each other. So it's like,
that's crazy.
So when I'm emailing them, to me, like I say doctor and then their name, or professor and then their name. But to me that feels a little weird, because it's like I've never called you that. And also like sometimes with the professor, we have like not like such a formal relationship. So it's like I don't really know if it's appropriate. Like I know it's not appropriate to call you by your first name because it's like a professional like student professor email, but at the same time it's like it's just weird, because also when they reply back it's very casual, so then you're like, oh okay, I don't know. But like
I know I used to put sincerely, and I took that out with a quickness, like
I put sincerely, and then I was like, oh, best regards sounds cute, and then I just took out the regards and I just leave best now.
Yeah, I just put best now, but then if they don't tag anything at the bottom, then I just like mirror what they do. Except when they start putting their first name at the bottom, I don't do that. I leave my whole like, you know, the signature that's just like my whole contact. Oh my god! Hey, you guys. Okay, hey, you guys. Jafeth writes his emails in like Times New Roman, or like some sort of serify font.
Oh wait, serify. It's serify.
Georgia, serify. But like, what's wrong?
What do you mean? To me, it just looks cute.
It does, but it looks like a manuscript, and like even the professors don't even they just write in the standard whatever the default settings
and
are.
It just makes me feel more professional. Like, have you seen my wait, I don't think I've ever seen your signature like on a Google Doc. Or I mean on a Google Doc, on an email, or maybe I have.
But it's there.
But for me it's like I remember seeing someone and seeing it color coded, or like they colored some of the words, so then I started doing
his
that.
is color coded.
Dude, I feel so professional, and I'm like, they're gonna take me seriously. It's so cool. But I still don't do anything on my LinkedIn, so
it's I was gonna say, I was like, you like Jafeth usually isn't like the person to like go like all out for those kinds of things, but in some ways he does, like he does that. His Google Calendar, like I don't even use Google Calendar, but he loves Google Calendar. He loves checking his email. Like I don't even do those things.
I have my email open right now.
I mean, I only have my Google Calendar open like all the time now, just because like all my Zoom class links are there.
I don't know. It's just a habit, because I get this like weird rush of dopamine whenever I get an email, and then I get sad when it's like your assignment's been graded, and I'm like, well, I don't want to see that now, do I?
I get anxiety when it's like Professor blah 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 has messaged you, and I'm like, why?
Wait, I get excited because I'm like, oh yay, they want to message me. Yeah. Anyway, back to the political conversation.
Back to the actual topic.
Yeah.
Why do we get
I have no
sidetracked?
clue. Y'all, sometimes we like get so sidetracked. I can't even recall
We forget
the
what
sequence
the
of events.
scheduled
Yeah,
topic.
of like
Oh yeah,
how we
and we
ended up.
forget the like I made a spreadsheet for our like recording, editing schedule, like all of that. But I feel like this episode isn't even about the scheduled topic.
Yeah. So let's make it about that for
Anyway,
the last couple of minutes.
Let's make it. Okay. Yeah. Political conversations. I don't know. I feel like in the academic setting, like you're never supposed to take things personally or whatever. But I feel like with politics, like it can get personal because some people's lives are on the line, like groups of people.
And also like some of those people participating in the conversations are the people whose lives are at risk or like on the line.
Yeah.
So like to me, whenever you're engaging in a political conversation and then you expect someone to stay calm, to me that's like not really possible.
It's just unrealistic.
Yeah, because it's like you're like politics are kind of like emotional, like, and it's your life on the line.
If you don't view politics to be sort of like an emotional topic, then you must not be that affected by political decisions, you know?
Having your identity like politicized, it's something that I feel like a lot of people don't understand, and it's like even I at this point don't really understand it completely because like some people's lives are more at risk than others because the degree of politicization of that identity is like it varies between people. So it's like it's not really anything that you can relate to. So then when people like are like, oh, calm down, or
just discussing,
or like they tell you to like, oh, it's just like, or basically allude to the fact to not take it seriously. It's like, dude, like clearly you don't know what it's like or don't have any empathy.
Yeah, like I understand like it's an academic setting, so we should, or like we're encouraged to address these things in like a sort of like clinical way, but and I get that it might be easy for other people, but I don't think that it should be looked down upon if it's not, because I feel like we talk about like sensitive topics, like, and also I know like in like class discussions like it's encouraged that everyone talks, but some people just don't want to speak on this. And also like some people shouldn't be speaking on some types of people shouldn't be speaking on some topics, and like being an ally is one thing, but then of course like speaking over the people you're trying to help is like another. So like just like know your place basically.
And like just to like build off of that, there was one time in class where we were talking about like, or like abortion gets brought up sometimes in,
was this jurisprudence?
Was it? I don't remember. I don't know, because like it's come up in like a few classes.
I feel like in that like sort of class
it would definitely come up in that class, because bestiality came up in that class. So like a lot of things could come up in that class.
A lot of things.
But no, I don't remember what class specifically, but abortion was brought up, and it's just funny, or not funny. Abortion's not funny. It's just funny, like the response, because the professor would ask, and then immediately like the people who usually speak up just kind of like stay quiet and look around, and then because usually women aren't the first to speak up in class, and like regardless of the issue. So like even in abortion, even if like someone would expect the female students to speak up, like they're more reserved, and I think that's just because like you're so used to not speaking, and you're so used to letting other people speak, so it's like, why would you speak now type of thing. And it was just interesting because like the usual responders in class wouldn't say anything. They'd look around, and when no one responds, then they'd be like quick to like volunteer to say their piece. And it's just like interesting because it's like, even though they waited a little, it's like you still shouldn't say anything, if that makes sense. Like I understand, but it's like hard because then again, we are in an academic setting where people are expected to voice their opinion. But it's just like, I don't know, I can't help but to feel like we're like they're doing the bare minimum to like encourage other people to speak up.
Yeah. And like personally, like I don't think I was in that class with you, but usually when the class is talking about like controversial topics like that, like I already feel like I already have my stance on it, and I feel like I've probably vocalized it enough to other people. Like I just don't feel like reiterating that, because also a lot of people probably feel the same. I don't know. I just feel tired of talking about those things, especially like abortion. Like I'm tired of talking. Like I, like it's, and then to hear like a guy or like someone who wouldn't be affected by like abortion talk about it, it's like, who are you preaching to? Like, is that, I already, like, the people who would be affected already like probably have made their mind up. Oh my god, wait, speaking of abortion being talked about in my poli-sci classes, in my freshman year US like government, I don't know, US politics class, we were reenacting the Constitutional Convention. And like the premises, I know, okay, he's giggling. But the premises of this was that you are supposed to like play a character or whatever, like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, whatever, advocate for the policies that like they, or like the parts of the Constitution that they would have wanted. And when the part of like the simulation came to where like the people were like, oh, what do you want in the Constitution? Raise your hand and say it. And this white guy was so quick, like so quick to be like, no abortion, no abortion. And our professor was like James, like or whatever, like, Madison, hello, what are you doing? Like he's like, we're not, like, please stick to your character. Like, what? He was so enthusiastic, and literally like there was like a silence. He was like, I don't think we should have abortion, and everyone was like, what?
I don't know. There are some topics where people just like shouldn't speak, or like it's not, because like it literally does not impact you in any way. So it's like, also just kind of along the same vein of that, like it's just interesting when topics like that come up, like women's topics, or topics that impact women mostly, or topics that impact like LGBT mostly. It's just like really awkward, because then if you're the only like person, or one of the only people that identify as that, then you're expected to kind of say your piece on that, or like people stare at you to say what you, to like know what you have to say about it. And I've heard this from like, I feel like this happens a lot with like Black people and like certain topics. Like I've heard this from some of my friends, and they're the only like Black people in class. Sometimes they're like just directly called out and been like, what do you think about this? And to me it's just
what
like,
the heck?
that's so, it's understandable to want to know what they think, to be able to like try to understand like what is thought, but like at the same time, just cold calling because they belong to that identity is so just like not cool.
Yeah. And I feel like doing that also could like put a lot of pressure on that one student to feel like the mouthpiece for an entire community. I had an experience like that, but it was like nowhere near the intensity of that, because I was in a politics of Asia class, and we were on the Korea unit, and I'm like the only Korean kid in that class, or like one of the few Asian kids period in that class. So, and like our professor, like I know he means well, because he's like really educated on these things, but like sometimes he would just be like, oh, North Korea, they said their founding date was like September 9th, like 99, like 999, something like that, like a lot of nines. And he's like, is 9 a significant number in North Korea? And I was like, I don't know, I don't think so. And then the next day he was like, oh, it is. And I'm like, I wouldn't know this. I was like, because he knows I was born here. I was like, yeah. And like he also knows, like I told him once, like, oh, my parents were like, they grew up in America too, so like it was just really awkward. But oh my god, and he would ask me like how to pronounce like Korean names, and like that I understand, but like sometimes it'd just be like random facts about Korea. And like one time he asked me about like Korean military stuff, and I was like, yeah, no, like all of my immediate cousins, like guy cousins, all live in America, so like I didn't know the answer to these things, and like I felt dumb, but I was like, I don't know if I should be like expected to have the answers. Because it was like political stuff too, so I was like, I barely know American political history. How am I gonna know South Korea or like both Koreas? Like,
no, okay,
I know he meant well. Like I know.
No, like, it's so it's also really awkward, because when someone says that kind of stuff, like or hopefully most of the times their intentions are not bad. but like just the
Yeah.
act of them doing it
It's
is
just
like
so
uncomfortable
awkward.
and awkward. But it's like
Yeah.
you don't want to tell them because you don't want to risk like them being offended that you're calling them out on it. But then to me
Yeah,
that's like
yeah.
kind of dumb because then it's like you just need to like be conscious of what you're saying. That's all I'm saying, type of
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I feel like in one of our class, I don't know which one, but like cuz in our poli sci classes, there are rarely any Asian kids, let alone like Asian like women. Sometimes I just become the Asian kid, and like whenever like a topic of like Korea or anything comes up, they're just like, "You," and I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Huh?"
No, yeah. Speaking of like Allison being one of the only Asian kids in poli
Oh
sci,
my
I
god.
remember going
Okay.
into a class and seeing her, and I was like, she's probably taking like I didn't think this
Taking it
when
as
I
a
saw
GE.
her, but like I like thinking back on it now, I was like, oh, she's probably taking this as a GE because our school is majority Asian actually. I think like
But
sixty
they
percent.
all take
Yeah, and
STEM.
they're all like the majority, the vast majority are like yeah in STEM fields or studying STEM stuff. So when I saw her, I was like,
Mhm.
one of these things is not like the other. It was Allison.
It was me. Because I'm special.
Yeah. No, but it's
Like, I still have not met another. I don't think I've met another Asian poli sci student in our school yet.
I don't know if they're poli sci, but I know there's an Asian student. He's probably poli sci because he was in one of my poli sci
Hmm.
classes last year and another one this year.
Okay, that's good. I
He's in one
haven't
of our
met them
classes this
then.
semester.
Okay, I think I know because there's only one other kid. Oh, no. I think I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, for it's a rare thing.
Yeah.
It's a rare thing.
Yeah. But it's so funny because I don't know if, because I think about that, or when I go into class, like, I don't like count every like non white person and a white person or anything, or like how many men or women
Hmm.
are in a class.
You take a census of the class.
I'm like, so everyone, please raise your hand.
Remember to
If...
fill out your census, everyone.
Oh, yeah, do that.
For one per household.
Yeah, but
Anyways.
but I do take like mental note of who is in our class type of thing, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, I'm like, whenever I go into class, I sit, I'm like,
Oh, I scan it definitely. Like even on the Zoom call, I'm like,
I just like rotate my head
like,
360 and
hey
I'm like,
guys,
okay.
hey guys, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, speaking of, where do you sit in class usually? Like, if we were in class physically, where do you, is there like a spot you tend to gravitate toward?
Second row,
Oh, interesting.
middle. That one class where I sat in the back, it was because the first day I showed up late, or because I couldn't find the class or something. And yeah, so I got stuck there. But I prefer to sit in like second row, middle. I hate the first row because I feel like very exposed.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I remember. I think in our jurisprudence class, like it was in the weird theater looking class, and I think our professor tried to make us sit in the front, and that's like really close to him, like
Yeah.
really close, and we're like, mm-mm. That professor's also our advisor
Sorry
that
if
we
you're
keep
listening.
mentioning.
It's just, that was really close.
It was really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we sat in like the middle.
But I felt really
side.
bad because, just so you know, Professor, if you're listening, I appreciate your effort to put those whiteboards together and stuff.
Oh yeah, that was difficult.
Yeah, like
I
moving to
remember
that classroom kind of sucked. Just because, like,
that was a weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
your efforts do not go
Anyways.
unnoticed.
So political conversations.
Yeah. It's just.
I honestly think political conversations, though, in like the academic setting, are way easier than like speaking to like parents or friends.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and
yeah,
my like one piece I'll say on that, if parents went to therapy, just any conversation would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like, not saying my parents are like bad people, like horrible or anything. It's just, you know, everyone should go to therapy.
Yeah.
At least once. It'd be good.
Yeah.
We'd have flying cars by now if parents went to therapy.
We would live in a society if
We like a real society with the capital S, bolded, italicized.
Capital S for
society.
JK.
Oh, he mouthed
I didn't.
Sour candy.
Yeah. Sour candy.
Candy. The song is catchy. I don't know why. I wish that like it was just a Blackpink song though.
Honestly, me too.
Because I feel like Lady Gaga sings in a really low register compared to like the Blackpink girlies.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of off-putting for her to have the whole second half of the song.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I wish it would have been longer too. Like, it was such a short song. Yeah, it was
short. It's a good song though. Anyway.
See how easy we get sidetracked?
I know, what the hell?
That's funny.
Or like S.
But that's
sour candy.
But that's also just like our day-to-day conversation.
This is these like, do you understand? Like, this is not a train of thought. This is like some weird windy like road.
Like if you look at our texts, sometimes like I will text Allison in like bursts, and each burst will be like a different like topic, and she won't respond like to like it's like she'll respond, and then I'll responding to that, and then like a couple bursts of like whatever, and then she'll respond to like each one of those afterwards.
Oh yeah, I have to address each like topic. Sometimes there's like 3, and I'm like, okay, let me. Because I remember one time, I think the funniest like recent conversation we had over text was we're like, damn, everything is plastic. Like we're like acrylic nails are plastic. Like, you know, clear acrylic boxes, those are acrylic nails. And then Jafeth was like, no way, I thought they were glass. And we're like, oh, we're dumb.
That's crazy.
Like literally everything, or more things than we think, are like plastic. Also, did you hear about that thing? Like, I feel like a few years back, like it was kind of revealed that America doesn't really recycle, and especially now, because like we used to send a lot of our recyclables to China. Now, because of like the rocky relationships, we don't really recycle at all. So
that's crazy.
Reuse.
No, that's so crazy to me how like man-made borders dictate the health of this earth.
Like that's like, why are y'all being dumb? Let's just collective action. Yeah. Collective action is
I don't know. Just swallow your pride, you ass. Like, give it up, bub.
Is it that hard to do the right thing? Are you so up your own ass that you won't do the right thing?
Yeah, it's like...
And I know someone's going to be like, oh, do the right thing. What does that even mean? The planet is dying. What do you think the right thing is?
Yeah, basically. So back to political conversations in class. I don't know. I mean, you can't really dictate how someone converses, because like the whole point of a conversation is to express the way you feel, and the way you feel is most appropriate. So you hopefully get to a middle ground and understanding of each other. But at the same time, it's like,
some people I don't care to come to a middle ground with. Like if you're just being like racist, you know, or something, I don't care to come to a middle ground with you. And I know that could be dangerous in terms of like polarization, but no, I don't care.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. But also, like, because it's difficult, because, like, for years I've been thinking about this, because it's, like, I think that way as well. But, like, if someone on the other side of the political spectrum thinks that way...
I think about that, too.
And then we're like, that's bad. But at the same time, it's, like... But the thing is, when it's about like racism, like Black lives, or if it's about like the environment, like some things are just it's like black. It's literally black and white. Like there is a right side and there is a wrong side.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So it's like, but I even know that saying that is like controversial, unfortunately, for some reason. So it's like, I don't know. Like I don't care about people's feelings if they're not about like empathizing with people and
like
doing
if your political opinion hinges on like a population of people dying or something, or just like being in a worse state of existing, haha, roll the credits. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna like target a population of people, like a minority group of people, for no real for no reason or whatever, and your policies support that, I don't care to respect your political opinion. Like your freedom of speech, like I'll respect it if it's like something not that severe and crazy.
Like I'm gonna need some people to give me their freedom of speech, because they are not
like freedom of speech. Like I get that, like of course I respect like freedom of speech, like that's so important, but like if your freedom of speech is going to end up in harming people like that, is your freedom of speech that important?
Roll the credits. No, and then the worst thing about arguing with people sometimes, or debating in class, is like the devil's advocate person that's like, just to play devil's advocate. And it's like, well, we don't have to do that all the time, or we don't have to do that about certain topics, because some of them just aren't like, they don't need that.
Some people cannot just like read the room during those like debate or not discussion sessions or whatever, like,
and like, not to point fingers, but they're mostly white, or they're mostly men, or they're mostly both.
Or they're both. That lovely intersection.
Yeah.
I also feel like during those discussion times in class, there's like a pressure to say whatever you're saying very eloquently and like put together, like as if like that is your like mic drop like statement. And so like whatever you're saying has to be like completely,
like it needs to make sense, and then
like
it needs
fact, like, it makes me sense, 100% accurate facts.
mm-hmm.
Like yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you should have your facts, of course, but like I feel like when you say those like political statements that might be sensitive, you're expected, this like statement that you say should be like, you cannot poke any holes in it, or it has to be said very eloquently. You know.
And that like feeling, like it discourages people.
That's why I don't
speaking.
talk. Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't talk most of the time, because I feel like I'm good at writing these things out, but like saying things on the fly, I'm not that good with. Clearly, if you listen to this podcast.
No, thankfully, like I've gotten more, like personally, I've gotten more accustomed to being wrong, like, and like just saying stuff, and if it's wrong, then like that's kind of embarrassing.
That's
but like
funny, because your Finsta bio at some point was just like, oh god, I don't remember. It was just like, I have like justice, or like I am like the definition of justice, or something like.
Wait, I feel like I remember that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was something like that, and I was like, oh, you're such a Libra.
That's funny. No, but like I've gotten like a little more used to being wrong and like not really caring if I'm wrong. I mean, care that you're wrong because you want to fix it, but like in class or something, you're like there to learn, so be wrong. And I know that sounds so cheesy, and like all your professors are like saying that and stuff, but like it's kind of true, because like I used to be like, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to look stupid, and then I realized even the smartest people in class say kind of dumb stuff. So I'm like, okay, there's no difference if I say some dumb stuff too, because nobody thinks I'm the smart person in class. So not to like that wasn't meant to be like self-deprecating. That was just like I didn't proclaim myself as one of the smartest kids in the class.
Like, I don't even know how people obtain that position. Like, and do we all think the same people are the smartest people in class?
I think it's just like your presentation and your voice.
But just like to the younger incoming college students, or even if you're in high school, don't be afraid to just participate. Just say it. If you feel like, at least have some sort of factual evidence to back up whatever you're saying. You don't want to be completely wrong.
Realize that every argument will have holes poked in it.
Of course.
So everyone somehow is going to be wrong. Even the person that's right all the time will be wrong, because their argument is not foolproof. So it's like, of course, just like understand that, and then you'll be like, wow, actually, whatever, let me just say it. Yeah.
And then I feel like also you need to have that like same understanding for your other classmates. Like, you can engage in like, academic discussion arguments with but also like recognize that you're all here to learn, you're all students, you're all in the same class, and with that fact, you're just assume that you're all in the same like academic playing field. Like, even if they might be older than you, you're all in the same class. So that was good. I feel like we
think we kind of did that.
we gotta end that one. Okay, so that's a good stopping point, methinks.
Yes, that was good. Very inspirational.
Yes. Inspirational. So hopefully you guys could have learned something from our experiences. Not that we're like experts on this or anything. I forgot to say in the beginning, we upload on Mondays.
Yes, what a great segue. So
what a great so I forgot to say in the beginning, but as always, we upload on Mondays at 11 p.m. and you can find our podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and now iTunes.
Yeah, iTunes.
Yes, I forgot to say all of that in the beginning. Wow,
that's funny. It's our technically like our first podcast uploading, and like one of the first few that we're recording now in a while. So bear with us while we get back into this groove. But yeah, so we are on those platforms, and you can find us on Instagram at existingpodcast for updates, hopefully more constant updates. Hopefully. And also just little teasers of the episode or little reminders that we have uploaded. So please check that out.
Like just in case you forgot, we upload on Mondays at 11 p.m. on these platforms. Here's a teaser to remind you, but go listen to the whole episode on your platform of your choosing. Yeah. Do they have podcasts on Tidal? like the Beyonce.
Like, that would be cool.
The Beyonce
Should we
platform?
email Title
That'd
and
be
be like,
funny.
hey, can we be your
Hey,
first
y'all got
podcast?
podcast?
And then we become besties with Beyonce. Oprah. Oh my God.
Hey, I think you're onto
Yeah,
something.
it might be.
Okay.
Anyway. So that's it for our first episode back in a month.
Our comeback.
Yeah, our comeback.
This is like this is kind of season 2 in a sense.
Yeah, kind of season 2 because I mean we have new mics.
Yeah, we have new mics.
What else do we have?
I hope they can tell. I really hope they can tell the difference, because if they can't, then
and then just forget that we got new
sorry.
mics, because that's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, just pretend we didn't. You know.
Yeah,
it's really embarrassing. Then.
But yeah, well, thank you so much for watching or for listening.
Thank you for listening. This will be a longer episode, I'm assuming.
Yes.
This time around.
Yes.
And we have a lot of fun topics slated for the next like 2 to 3 months.
So that'll be exciting. Yeah. We'll venture into
I know we have like a mini series.
Yeah.
Of
we're going
like
to...
us as kids, middle schoolers, and like high schoolers slash college. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna be broken up into 3 episodes. So that'll be fun. Just to see. I know we are also planning another little sort of mini series where basically we pick a piece of content or piece of media, whether it be like one film or something, or like maybe like a genre, and we kind of analyze it and look at it through different lenses.
I think at some point we were planning on our Instagram to ask for topic suggestions for the future, because we would love to know what you guys are interested in.
Yeah.
Oh, and then some weeks, like every other week, we're going to be uploading 2 mini episodes. So this week is just a really long, hour-ish long episode. And then next week will be 2 shorter ones.
Yes.
That are supposed to be more fun. Okay, we're going to start doing a thing where we give you song recommendations at the end of each episode.
Dude, the way that we like forgot all this and we already said bye.
I know. Oh, did we say bye?
Well, we already said follow us on our Instagram and everything. Should we just redo it?
That's okay. This is still like wrapping it up.
Okay.
Song recommendations. Jafeth, do you have one in mind?
Song recommendation.
Wait, let me think of one.
Yeah, I think I gotta think of one. Oh, wait.
Actually, let me just... I remember the episode that we pre-recorded, though. I already plugged BTS.
No, you plugged 1-3 something. Because you were like...
That's still BTS.
Oh, yeah. Well, because I'm coming up with something fresh and something new. What I recommend is this group called Brave Girls. Their recent comeback called We Ride.
Oh my god, that song's so good.
It is really good.
It's so good.
It's in Korean, so I mean I don't know what's going on, but it's such a good vibe, and
it's like the lyrics actually really simple.
Oh really?
Yeah, the beginning like line or like the we ride whatever in Korean is actually just like, and you just keep driving, or like we just keep driving, like something like that.
The only part I understand is we're still in your car, which is the only English lyric I think that is in the song. So
wow.
But yeah, that's my recommendation for this week. Allison?
I'm just gonna be honest, the song I've had on loop is BTS Dynamite. I'm gonna plug that. Let's stream Dynamite. Let's get her to number 1 on Billboard.
Can you come up with something
Jafeth
else?
is sighing. And I will when they're not having this comeback. As of now, I gotta promote them. Usually I promote Luna a lot, but like this time, I'm trying to get them to number 1 single-handedly.
Wow.
It's their first English single, so for some reason you're xenophobic and you don't like Korean lyrics. This one's in English, so you have no excuse.
Boom. Exactly.
All right. Okay, we'll see you in the next one. Next week we'll have 2 tiny episodes, so look out for those.
Yes, that'll be exciting.
Follow us on our Instagram.
At existingpodcast.
Yes, and we already talked about where else you can find us.
Well, I guess.
Well, anyway,
we'll see you or hear you or talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.